Travis looks hyped up as he shouts and swears at Olympics crowd hours before being arrested. Video has emerged of Travis Scott hyped up and shouting in the Olympic crowd just hours before being arrested. The American rapper was arrested in the center of Paris early on Friday morning after an altercation with his own bodyguard, local media has reported. However, just hours before the star 33 attended the men's basketball semi-final between Serbia and the United States. Travis was seen shouting and swearing as he threw his arms in the air and tried to hype up the crowd as the USA pulled off an insane comeback to beat Serbia. Full of energy, Travis, whose real name is Jacques Bermon Webster, pulled his t-shirt over his head as the US scored a goal. Hours later, Travis was detained by gendarmes at the George V Hotel in the French capital's 8th arrondissement, French outlet Valeurs Actuelles reported. The incident is said to have occurred around 5 am, just steps away from the Champs-Élysées. According to French outlet Le Parisien, police were called to the hotel due to acts of violence against a receptionist. A police source reportedly said the rapper was intoxicated at the time of the confrontation. This comes after the rapper was arrested in Miami back in June after being involved in a disturbance on a yacht. Cops interrogated him about whether he'd been drinking. Scott replied, "It's Miami." He also responded to the night's chaos with a series of light-hearted tweets to calm fan fears about his upcoming tour, and an edited version of his bleary-eyed mugshot snapped shortly after his arrest. Scott then wrote "lol" on X and shared his booking photo complete with Photoshop shades and earphones via Instagram stories. The sicko mode singer is the former partner of Kylie Jenner, whom he has 2 young children with, Stormi and Air. Scott and the Kylie Cosmetics founder, 26, have had an on-off relationship since 2017, but are currently not together. Just a week before his June arrest, Scott was involved in a skirmish with Jenner's previous ex-Tiger in Cannes. Over the years, the rapper has had a few run-ins with the law. Most notably, he was at the forefront of the 2021 Astroworld disaster, where 10 people lost their lives and hundreds more were injured while attending the rapper's music festival at NRG Park in Houston, Texas, in a deadly crush. On November 5, 2021, hundreds of people were filmed stampeding through a VIP entrance at the Live Nation organized event, sparking fears of overcrowding and poor crowd control. Travis Scott was filmed continuing to perform after 8 people were crushed to death, including 2 victims aged just 14 and 16, with one witness saying it was a floor of bodies. Videos circulating on Twitter showed the crowd chanting, "Stop the show, stop the show," while the concert was declared a mass casualty event at 9:38 p.m. The concert continued until 10:15 p.m., for which Scott, who was headlining and promoting the festival, was heavily criticized. The rapper, alongside the festival's organizers Live Nation and ScoreMore, faced numerous civil lawsuits accusing them of negligence and wrongful death. However, in June last year, a Houston grand jury decided Scott would not face criminal charges for his role in the deadly crowd surge. In November last year, 2 years after the stampede, Scott broke his silence on Astroworld in an interview with GQ and said he was overly devastated by the tragedy, adding that he thought about the disaster all the time. Scott said, "Making music, you think about things that go on in life and things that happen in your life, and you dial in on things. That moment for families, for the city, it was devastating. And when it came to making, like even finishing the album, I got back into it probably months and months and months after. And the idea of just even getting back into music, working on music, and just even getting into that, was therapeutic of being able to channel some of the energy into production and sounds and finishing it. I mean, I was just overly devastated, Yeah, I always think about it. Those fans were like my family. I love my fans to the utmost." In May this year, Scott and Live Nation settled 9 wrongful death lawsuits.